on YouTube? Pure out here. I'm gonna do a quick like rate and review, kind of like I did on Lightmare, on Ourosmic. So he's like the next Tails monster. So if you remember, like our last one was Spitfire, I believe. So our last one was Spitfire. Um, Same thing. So the Tails challenges are always the same. There's the collect golds, there's the feeding, and then there's obviously the battles, the PvP, and then there's breeding and hatching. Um, but I'll go into that. I'll do a video on that when it comes out because it's a lot easier to explain when you're actually doing it. For now, I'm just gonna do the review real quick. So, not a big fan of the moveset. Definitely a big fan of the traits though. So we'll get into that later. But the first move is called Space Hero. Deals moderate earth damage, blocks out 50% of incoming damage. I always assume the first move is going to be spammable, just based on the previous monsters. So not bad to have a spammable 50% damage reduction move. Definitely not bad at all. Uh, Even bigger, so deals low earth damage to all enemies. Again, probably spammable. Still not a good move. I don't care if it's zero cooldown, still not good. Um, Euboea Monte. I don't know if that's like a name of a mountain or what, but I assume all these are names of mountains, like Ascraeus, Olympus Mons. I just don't know for sure. Someone wants to fact check that, be my guest. But so yeah, Euboea Montes applies damage mirror and 50% life shields. I could see that being useful. If you have, like I said, if you pair this up with like Kraken or Wormlad, damage mirror could be kind of useful, because I know Brutalizer has that and it's kind of hard to deal with sometimes. The next move is Ascrueus. Just bear with me here. I'm sorry. Applies skill mirror and damage boost to itself. Again, skill mirror is pretty useful in most matchups anyway. So I would definitely recommend at least considering running that on your moveset. Olympus Mons deals moderate earth damage to all enemies, applies life regeneration to itself. So life regen's always good, especially on the tank. Moderate earth damage, not really too big of a deal. I think Renata has a move like this too, so kind of see a trend going on here. Next one's Arcia, deals heavy earth damage to one enemy, life regen to itself. Nothing crazy special there. Yeah, life regen's good to have on a tank, but you gotta have something else, you know? You gotta have something to bring to the table. It's not really adding anything new that someone else doesn't already have, you know? Uh, Pavonis applies 100% life shield to itself and then 50% reduced damage. I like that move a lot. I think it could be useful. But at the same time, there's a lot of monsters out there that can remove positives and then can also remove shields. I think the new monster, Lightmare, actually has moves that can remove shields. So, Rhea Sylvia deals very heavy earth damage to one enemy, applies a 30% life shield and taunt. I don't really see that being super useful. 30% life shield's not that much, and taunt it already has as a trait, but obviously if you get trait disabled it could come in handy. And then special doesn't really matter much to me, but it's 3-turn death countdown to all enemies, 50% chance of defeating an enemy instantly, and 20% chance if it's a boss. I will say though, if you are in a war and you end up using the ultimate and defeating an enemy instantly, I mean, that's at least one coin you took off, if not like two or three. So it could be kind of useful on defense, just for the possibility of the ultimate. But yeah, so like I said, it's going to be a Tails challenge probably next week, I would assume, because this week's the maze, the Lightmare maze on Friday. Yeah, so let me go to the traits and like the base stats real quick. Okay, so it's in the underworlds, it's in the superheroes, and it's in the families category. So I would, if you need any of those monsters like rank 3 or rank 4 for war, this could be a good monster. Like I said, especially with the taunts, um, with the taunt pair with like Kraken and Wormlad, or just Kraken. I see it work all the time. But yeah, rank 0 you have taunts. At rank 1 you have taunt and mountain. Mountains immune to stun and freeze, so I think that's super good. And then at rank 3 you've got abomination as well, which means immune to possession, corruption, nightmares, and bleed. So as far as traits, he's essentially immune to control, as well as having taunt and being immune to nightmares and bleed. So his traits are pretty good, in my opinion at least. There's still obviously cooldown activation that's in the meta right now. There's still obviously, I believe either Vampira or Aerobat has like damage reduction and like blind and all that. So there's other things to worry about, but having immune to control essentially is still pretty cool. And obviously nightmares and bleed too. But yeah, so as far as stats go, 223k health, which is kind of like the most important stat for him because he's probably going to be a tank, realistically anyway. That's the third highest in the game, the first highest being Solar Flare, the second highest being, well, Solar Flare has 227, and then I think, what was it, Renata has 225. So third highest in the game, but not far off, to be honest. Speed 99.36, so if you go over to some of the faster monsters, that's not that fast. I mean, he pretty much gets outsped by every denier. And then obviously this epic right here, but yeah, as far as speed, he's not fast, but again, I mean, what are you expecting? He's a tank, you know? So the strength, 18,096, I believe I read that right. Not, I mean, it's not bad as far as like comparing it with others go, but I don't see him being used as an attacker that much. It's definitely not bad though. It's one of the top numbers. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the review. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably rate the traits like an 8. I really like the traits. The traits are really good. Moveset, I'd give it a 4, maybe a 5. Design, I really like the design too. I'd say the design is like maybe like an 8. But overall usability, I'd say it's probably a 6 out of 10. It's not really game breaking. It's not going to make me want to change my PvP attack team or defense team. It's just another taunt monster that happens to have shields and damage reduction. That's about it. But as far as the video goes, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment description. If you guys are gonna like rank 5 it or see how high you can get it up. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Peace out.